You're not telling your own story, first of all. I'm not using my own pain on screen. I'm using Glinda's.
I don't usually like to be that person who comments on a celebrity's body. But when the people closest to someone start speaking out, when fans who paid to be in the same room as her come away genuinely scared, and when the internet stops talking about the music and starts asking if someone is okay, that's when we need to talk. Because right now, something feels very off with Ariana Grande, and a lot of people seem to agree. There's one more piece to this picture. While the world watched Ariana prepare for one of the biggest tours of her career, her nearly 3-year relationship with Ethan Slater had quietly ended, months before opening night, before anyone knew. She's been carrying all of this, and now people are worried. The tour everyone was waiting for. Let's start with some context, because this story has been building for a while. Ariana Grande hasn't toured since 2019. That's 7 years. 7 years since her Sweetener World Tour wrapped. 7 years since fans got to see her perform live on a major stage. A lot has happened in that time. A global pandemic, 2 wicked films, a divorce from Dalton Gomez, a relationship with Ethan Slater that the world watched bloom and, as it turns out, end, while she kept showing up and delivering. And of course, the constant, relentless chatter about her body that has followed her through nearly all of it. So when she announced the Eternal Sunshine Tour, a around 30-date run supporting her upcoming album Petal, which drops next month, the response was enormous. Tickets sold out in minutes. Fans camped online, refreshed pages until their browsers crashed, and watched helplessly as scalpers scooped up inventory and relisted it at prices several times the face value. Ariana herself said she was incredibly bothered by the secondary market chaos and promised to fight for more tickets to get into real fans' hands. And it wasn't just ticket demand. There was a real emotional weight to this tour for a lot of fans. Ariana has been through it publicly. The Manchester bombing, the Pete Davidson engagement, the marriages, the divorces, the wicked era, and everything that came with it. For many of her fans, this tour felt like a homecoming, like proof that she had made it through, like finally getting to celebrate her in person, after years of watching from a distance. The point is, this tour was a big deal. People had waited years for it. There was genuine, electric excitement around it. And then, opening night happened. So what exactly went down on June 6th, and why did the conversation shift so fast? Opening night in Oakland. The Eternal Sunshine Tour officially kicked off on June 6, 2026, at Oakland Arena in California. By all accounts, the performance itself was genuinely impressive. Critics praised her vocals. Fans who were there said she sounded incredible, that her voice was as strong as ever, maybe stronger. There were emotional moments. She addressed the crowd, told them she'd missed them, said it was great to see them. She even got a little playful during a performance of Thank You Next, holding up 2 fingers and laughing. A cheeky nod to her marriages that the crowd loved. But as concert footage started circulating on social media, a very different conversation took over. Because while her voice was getting 5 stars, the images of her on stage were stopping people mid-scroll. And look, it's worth acknowledging that Ariana Grande has always been a small person. She's petite. She's always been petite. This isn't a new observation. But what fans were reacting to at Oakland wasn't general slimness. It was something that felt different from before. More pronounced. More alarming. People who had followed her career for years were saying they hadn't seen her look like this. Some pointed to comparisons between her appearance now and footage from as recently as the Wicked promo cycle, saying the change in just a few months was noticeable. One ex-user who claimed to be at the show wrote, "If she looks thin on camera, I assure y'all she looks 2 times thinner in person. Everyone should be concerned." "This ain't normal." Another said she was basically bones, and that it had been concerning since the Wicked movie. Someone else posted that they genuinely didn't want to go into this tour thinking about it, but, after seeing footage, couldn't think about anything else. The comment that really spread, though, was simpler than all of that. Someone posted a clip with the caption, "I truly hope Ariana is okay." And the energy behind it wasn't drama. It was worry. But here's the thing. This didn't come out of nowhere. This conversation has been building since at least late 2025. So, what's the full picture? The Wicked press tour that started it all. To understand where we are now, you have to go back to late 2025 and the press tour for Wicked for Good, the sequel to the first Wicked film that had made Ariana a full-blown movie star all over again. And just to be clear on the scale of what she pulled off, Wicked for Good opened to the biggest opening weekend for a Broadway adaptation in box office history. This was not a small project. This was a cultural moment. Ariana poured everything into it. Years of her life, a completely transformed approach to her craft, a level of commitment that by all accounts was total. She described the role as something she'd dreamed about since she was 10 years old. You could feel that in every press appearance she did. The Wicked for Good press tour was, by any measure, a massive success for the project itself. Ariana was everywhere. Red carpets, magazine covers, talk shows, interview after interview. But the online conversation kept returning to the same thing: how she looked. Body comments flooded every post. Debates broke out on every platform. Even her co-stars, Cynthia Erivo and Michelle Yeoh, got pulled into the scrutiny. Ariana addressed it directly. On November 29, 2025, she posted to her Instagram stories, resharing a 2024 interview with the caption, "Resharing this from last year as a loving reminder to all." In the clip, she spoke about what it's like to have been a specimen in a petri dish since she was 16 or 17 years old. "I've heard it all," she said, visibly emotional. "I've heard every version of it. What's wrong with me? And then you fix it. And then it's wrong for different reasons. It's hard to protect yourself from that noise." She also said she thought society had developed a comfortability with commenting on others' appearances, health, and presentations that it absolutely shouldn't have, and that she found it dangerous. It was a powerful statement. And yet, because this is where it gets complicated, the concerns didn't go away. Because for many people watching, the issue wasn't about judging her looks. It was that people genuinely, sincerely, didn't know if she was okay. And then, a source close to her family said something that changed the tone of the whole conversation. The family member who spoke out. In December 2025, an anonymous family member, reportedly based in Florida, spoke to the Daily Mail and said something that landed hard. "She is struggling right now. She's not in a healthy place, and she knows it. Everyone around her knows it. Her anxiety is through the roof. She overexerted herself, and the cracks started to show pretty quickly. Fortunately, she's got a support system. Everyone is encouraging her to take care of her own mental health because she needs to." That's not a gossip account. That's not a stranger speculating on Twitter. That's someone who allegedly knows her, someone close enough to her family to be considered part of it, going on record to say that something is wrong. The same source suggested that the Wicked for Good press tour had been especially hard on her, not just because of the relentless body comments online, but because of a red carpet security breach in Singapore, where a man rushed toward her during a promotional event. According to the family member, Ariana did not handle the press tour well at all. The online commentary about how she looked was, according to this source, really troubling to her. Then there's the PTSD factor, something Ariana has talked about before. Since the 2017 Manchester Arena bombing, that killed 22 people at her concert, she has spoken openly about the trauma she carries from that night. People close to her have said that the press tour period reactivated a lot of that. Between the red carpet incident, the relentless public scrutiny, and the sheer volume of public appearances she was making, those around her reportedly felt she was not managing well. The family member's quote ended on a note that stuck with a lot of people. Everyone is encouraging her to take care of her own mental health, because she needs to. So, with all that building in the background, what does it mean that she launched a world tour anyway? The pressure of the tour and a private split. Here's what makes this situation so hard to watch. Ariana Grande did not take a break. She went from wicked to wicked. For good to a press tour that reportedly burned her out, and then straight into rehearsals for one of the biggest tours of her career. There was no gap, no quiet period, no intentional step back. Just one massive thing after another, for years. And in the middle of all of this, a significant chapter in her personal life quietly closed. Ariana and Ethan Slater, who met on the set of Wicked and became one of the most talked-about couples in Hollywood, have split. According to a source who spoke to People magazine, the separation happened several months ago, amicably and without fanfare. They gave lots of time and careful consideration and decided to go their separate ways, the source said. They are still friends and very supportive of one another. Neither Ariana nor Ethan has commented publicly, but the timing is worth sitting with. She entered this tour, one of the biggest of her career, the one fans had been waiting 7 years for, having already navigated a breakup that the world didn't even know about yet. Think about what that schedule actually looks like. Filming 2 major Wicked productions back-to-back, releasing new music, doing press across multiple continents, a private breakup, preparing a major arena tour from the ground up, all while managing the PTSD she's spoken about and, according to those close to her, a level of anxiety that has been through the roof. That's not a workload, that's a wall. According to people close to her who spoke to the Daily Mail around the same time as the family source, those in her inner circle are anxious that she might have taken on too much. Another source described her perfectionism as a complicating factor. She is reportedly deeply involved in nearly every element of the Eternal Sunshine Tour's production. The lighting, the staging, the set list, the visuals. She doesn't delegate easily. She pours herself into every detail. One insider put it this way: the concern from people close to her is that she's spent so much time taking care of everyone else that she hasn't given herself the opportunity to slow down and recharge. That tracks with what fans have observed. The music video for her single Hate That I Made You Love Me, released ahead of the tour, had already prompted comments about her appearance. By the time opening night arrived, some fans were already bracing themselves. Now, before we go any further, we have to talk about the other side of this, because not everyone sees this the same way. The debate, concern versus commentary. Here's where it gets genuinely complicated, because the internet is not one thing, and neither is the reaction to all of this. On one side, you have fans and commentators who are genuinely worried. People who point to the family members' words, to the reports from those close to her, to the footage from Oakland, and say, "This is not okay. We need to talk about it. Silence is not kindness." On the other side, you have equally passionate voices saying, "Stop. Leave her alone. You are doing the exact thing she asked you not to do. She just gave one of the best vocal performances of her career." Why is that not the story? Pop Tings, a widely followed celebrity account, posted after opening night, "Leave Ariana alone. She just gave one of the best vocal performances of her career, and some of y'all are more concerned with making comments about her body than appreciating the talent in front of you." It's weird. Other fans pushed back on the narrative entirely, pointing out that Ariana has always been petite, that she has been open about how hurtful the commentary is, and that constantly fixating on her frame, even with good intentions, reinforces the exact culture she's spoken out against. And here's where Ariana's own words matter. In 2023, she addressed the body comparison discourse directly on TikTok. The version of herself that people kept pointing to as healthy, the fuller, more conventionally curvaceous version, was, she said, actually the unhealthiest she had ever felt. She was on antidepressants. She was drinking. She wasn't eating well. The body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body, she said. That complicates everything. It means well-meaning fans might be holding up an image of her at her worst as the thing she should return to. And that is genuinely harmful. She has been explicit about this. She told us directly. So what do we do with that? It means the discourse itself is messy. It means you can care about someone and still accidentally cause distress. It means the line between expressing concern and piling on is a lot thinner than most people want to admit. But, and this is important, it doesn't automatically mean everything is fine now. Both things can be true. Commenting on her body can be harmful, and people who love her can be worried. Those aren't mutually exclusive. So where does all of this leave us? And what actually happens next? Where things stand now. As of right now, the Eternal Sunshine Tour is officially on schedule. It's a 14-city run that wraps August 20th, 2026, ending at London's O2 Arena. There have been unverified rumors circling online about potential cancellations. Some fans have been predicting it since before the tour even started, but nothing official has been announced and those rumors remain unconfirmed. Ariana herself has not addressed the most recent wave of concern directly. The tour is continuing. The next dates are ahead. Her team has not commented publicly, and her new album, Petal, the one this whole tour is building toward, is due to drop next month. What is confirmed? She quietly navigated a breakup from Ethan Slater in the months before this tour began. A family member has gone on record saying she is not in a healthy place, physically or mentally. People in her orbit are reportedly concerned about how much she has taken on. Fans at her first show came away alarmed by her appearance rather than reassured. What is not confirmed, and what we should not treat as fact, are the more extreme claims that have been circulating. Allegations of specific diagnoses, predictions about the tour collapsing. We're not going there, because that's where concern crosses into speculation, and that's not useful to anyone. What we can say is this: Ariana Grande has spent years in the public eye being picked apart. Her voice, her relationships, her choices, her body. She has been remarkably open about how much that has cost her. She has asked, repeatedly and sincerely, for people to think before they speak about her appearance. That is worth honoring. And yet, honoring someone's request for privacy and genuinely caring about their well-being are not always the same thing. Sometimes the people who love someone most are the ones who say, "I see you. I'm worried. I hope you're okay." The fans in Oakland who walked out concerned weren't being cruel. The family member who spoke to a journalist wasn't trying to embarrass her. The sources close to her team who keep quietly flagging that she's taken on too much. They're not the enemy. What happens from here is Ariana's story to write. She's 32 years old. She's one of the most talented performers of her generation. And right now, a lot of people who care about her are holding their breath, hoping she makes it through this tour okay, and maybe after it's done, finally takes the break she clearly needs. And that's where we'll leave it for today. This is one of those stories that doesn't have a clean ending, because it's still happening in real time. Whatever you think about the conversation around Ariana's body, whatever side of that debate you fall on, I think most of us can agree that we want her to be well. That's not controversy. That's just caring about someone. There are around 28 more dates on this tour, a new album on the way. A lot can happen. And if anything changes, if she speaks out, if new information comes to light, if the story shifts in any direction, we'll be covering it. Because right now, people are watching closely, and they're not going to stop. If you want to stay across this story as it develops, because this tour still has months to go, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so you don't miss updates. And drop a comment below. Do you think the concern for Ariana is warranted? Or do you think people need to back off and let her do her thing? I genuinely want to know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.